Okay, preheating is done. As you can see, you've got a temperature right now of about 231, 232, somewhere in that vicinity. That's Celsius, so that's going to be about 425 to 450 Fahrenheit, which is good. So now we're going to set up and we're going to roast. All you do here is we're going to go through the process together. I'm going to hit auto mode. I'm going to go with a new setting so you can see it all. And then you have the selection here. You can choose any of the types that you have here. And so I'm going to roast using a Brazil. And there's your weight. So I'm going to go with a 2K because that's all I'm going to put in. If you're going to put in 3K, then you choose that. And then you're asked to describe the beans. And this is so you can set up your profiles, and then you can save a profile. So the beans that I'm putting in right now are green. I like going with a dark roast in this particular case. And so now I'm going to just simply save that setting. So I'm going to save that. Once again, hit save and hit start. It's going to go through a quick diagnostic. And then once you get to the end of that, you're just going to hit roast. And now everything is automatic from this point forward. First thing it's going to do is you notice that it's going through a preheating process. It's making sure that the roaster is preheated, and it is. And now it just says simply wait for a moment to pour in the beans. Notice that it's also has a little alarm. So now they're ready for the beans, so I'm going to pour in the beans. And I've got a bag of beans right here ready to go, so I just go to the top and I'm going to pour them in. Then I just follow the on-screen instructions, which the on-screen instructions just simply says, please pour the beans, and then press the next button. So I'm going to go ahead, and I like to not interrupt the cycle. You can see that it's already roasting. It's already cycling right here. But I like to personally not interrupt any of the cycles. And then in just a moment it's going to stop cycling. Once it stops cycling, then I'm going to press the next button, and then the on-screen diagnostics come back on. And as a matter of fact, you'll be able to see right in this area right here that there's going to be a graph that forms of the beans, the heat of the beans, and the heat of the drum. Up here you have your roast time, where you can see how much time has gone through the roast. You also have down in here your diagnostics, which tell you now the drum temperature, the bean temperature, and then you see over here, you see the first crack, second crack, and then you see the color temperatures. We chose a dark roast. Notice it says Brazil 2K green. Those are the items that I put in. And right now it says the color. You can adjust the color, by the way. I can adjust it down, and notice each one it goes down. It went down 2 degrees Celsius. Or I can come over here and I can adjust it up. 222 is the max on that dark roast. I'm going to go back and I'm going to leave it right there at the 219. Notice that we are roasting. Notice also it is a very quiet machine. It is not loud at all. And you see that it's turning, it's roasting right now. And it will roast in one direction. It will then stop, let the beans rest for a moment, and then roast turning the other direction. Once again, this is a halogen heater. It's not a halogen light. It is a halogen heater. It's much more durable than a halogen light. I've used this particular heater now for the past 2 years. Now you see that the drum has stopped and it's simply resting. And now it turns in the other direction. I like that because it disperses the beans and it really roasts them evenly. But this particular halogen heater I've used for the past 2 years. I have 2 backup halogen heaters that I went ahead and purchased, and I did that because I was uncertain well, I didn't want to get an alert. I didn't want to be without, so I just decided I wanted to go ahead and purchase a backup halogen heater. I purchased 2 of them. I still have them. They're brand new from the company. So I go back up here to the top. I can look at the screen. I can see that the graphs are beginning to form right here of the roast and the heat. I can look over here. I can also see the time that has transpired on this particular roast, in this particular batch. I can see that the temperatures have changed. You can see the temperature of the bean, which is the most important in this case, now registers at 133. We're going to hit our first crack right about 182, the second crack about 192. That's really not accurate, I will tell you that. Your second crack isn't going to hit till probably about 219, 220, something like that. It was their best guess for this particular profile. Alright, more later.